Welcome back to another episode of the 2023 Kulwicki Driver Development Program, Driver Profiles. I'm Casey Campbell, and of course, and this episode is all about Michigan's own Evan Shotko from Coopersville, Michigan. How's it going?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So I usually start these off with this. How did you first what was your first I know how you got into racing is one thing, but what was your first taste of it? Like what was your first memory of racing that you can remember?
Of myself racing or just racing in general?
Just racing in general.
Um, I really grew up watching my dad and my grandpa and stuff race. So, I guess I don't really have one memory, in particular. But just watching them as growing up and stuff. It's really kind of where I got the itch, I guess. Got the disease, the racing disease.
Yeah. When did you first get in a car, whether it's what how old were you and what did you get in?
So I was 8 years old when I started go-kart racing.
Okay.
And then at 10 years old, we started racing dirt street stocks.
Well, okay.
So I was like 4 foot tall.
Yeah.
I don't know what my parents were thinking. I think they're crazy for that. But yeah, I was 10 years old driving a full-size car.
What was that like? Just when you were 10 years old, what do you remember from that? Do you remember anything from that?
I do. I was very, very bad. I mean, I was 10 years old racing against adults. I tore up a lot of stuff. I
Okay.
made a lot of people mad, but it was part of the deal. It was just learning. So
Yeah. So, what was overall, what was 10-year-old Evan like?
uh shy. Didn't talk to anybody. Didn't want to go to school. All I wanted to do was race. I guess nothing has really changed there.
Yeah. So, so it's like just describe and also just what was it like just growing up? Like what was family life like and what was it like just growing up in West Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, I probably had a different childhood than most. With my family coming from racing, that's really all we did. So, we were at the shop all the time. Every weekend, we're at some sort of racetrack. I never really hung out with friends, nothing like that, because I was always busy working on the car. So, my parents kind of laid it out for me as, racing costs a lot of money. So if we're going to do this, we need your 100% commitment. And that's what I did. And racing has been my life ever since I was, 8, 10 years old.
And I know it's gotten you to where you are now, but there's still a lot to go. There's still a lot to go before we get there. So after you were in those dirt cars at 10, where did you end up?
We raced dirt modifieds for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then we, started racing super late models as soon as I turned 14.
Yeah. Okay. So when did you get in dirt modified?
Oh, I think I was 12.
Okay.
I don't really know. Yeah, 11, yeah. 11 or 12.
Okay. All right. What was that? Did you have was there anything that stuck out about that, or was it just like, okay, I'm just in a dirt modified and I don't know, was it like when you were in the dirt, when you were in the car you were in before with the or I forgot what it was. It was from a dirt modified from a dirt car to a dirt modified.
Yeah. Well, I was still young. I still tore up a lot of stuff, but we were very, very good in that car. We won, a good amount of races and stuff against people a lot older than me, a lot better than me. But it was a great learning experience. I truly believe good race car drivers start on dirt just to learn car control and all that. I wouldn't trade that experience for the world.
Yeah. So, and then after you got out of a dirt modified, you got into a super late model. And you were 14 when you got in one of those things. Describe what that was like.
Once again, wasn't very good, tore up a lot of stuff. It took us, once you get to that level, there's so much more than just getting in the car and racing. You know, we had to go through a whole learning experience as a team, because really your team is just as important as the car or the driver. But we had to obviously learn the car, how to set things up. We had to build a good team. You know, I think after a year of being in super lates, we won our first race. And from there, we've just seemed to get better and better. And now we have a really good group. We have really good race cars. And I truly feel we can go anywhere and compete.
Yeah. So when did you so you were 14, when did you get your first win?
I would have been 15. It was basically 1 year from when I started pavement racing.
What do you remember what year that was?
I do not know.
Yeah. So, but I'll ask you this: when was that? What was it like getting that first win? And where was it at?
It was at Berlin, and honestly, I really didn't think it was coming because it took me and our team a long time to learn it. And what was kind of crazy about my situation is we didn't like gradually get better. We went from running way in the back to all of a sudden it was like a light switch, and we just started, running up, in the top three, winning races like right now, which is kind of strange because normally you just kind of slowly get better to get there. But I was terrible for a long time. Then all of a sudden, things just turned around.
Yeah. What was it? I mean, was it just like, did you just like win? It's like, oh, okay. And maybe it's maybe I'm just gonna, after the win, did things really just kind of start improving? Like, you learn and you learn, you might you I think a lot of things learn from, wrecking, because the thing is, it's like when you wreck one of those things, it's like you gotta take care of all that. So
Oh
um
yeah.
what was that like, just learning the hard lessons from all that?
A lot of long nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we tore up a lot of stuff, and we fix everything and do everything ourselves. But I think the biggest thing is, we after we won that first race, is we all realized that we can actually do it. Like we actually can go win in these things. So I think that's when, we all dug a little bit deeper, we all tried a little bit harder, gave it 110%, and I think that's really when things turned around.
I know that you got your first win at Berlin, and I know how much that place means to you. I mean, I was just up there this past weekend for the ARCA race, and obviously, we saw each other, and partially that's how I think how this kind of came together. So what does that place mean to you? And I know that place has really improved over the years. I mean, new Victory Lane, an outdoor lounge, and all that stuff. What are your first memories of that place, and how have you kind of seen it grow to what it is now?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Like I said, I was, 4 or 5 years old, sitting in the grandstands, watching my grandpa and my dad race. And I mean, it wasn't anything like it is today. They sunk so much money into that place, really improving it. I really do believe it's one of the best short tracks in the country. But one of my favorite parts about racing at Berlin is I grew up watching these people that I'm racing against. So to be able to go out, compete against them, and sometimes beat them is really like, it's almost like a childhood dream that's getting fulfilled. It's one of my favorite parts about racing there. Um, it's very cool. It's very special to me.
So how old are you now, Evan?
I'm 19.
So I know a lot has happened since you started doing this thing. I know you graduated high school and all that, and obviously the thing is, it's like, I know you make friends from racing, but you also have friends, from high school as well. What was that like to graduate and do all that, and to see where you're at now?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, racing kind of, I hate to say it, it's not a very good example, but racing really always took priority over school. I hate to say it, but even in high school and stuff, I didn't really have a whole lot of friends because after school, you know, we'd go to the race shop. We wouldn't hang out with friends or anything. So, my high school experience was much different than most. But I love what I do. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah. So, so going in, so when did you first find out about the Kulwicki program?
Oh, I think I was 16 years old, and we were bummed out because I was too young to qualify for it.
Yeah.
We just, we heard about it, heard about some of the cool things that, you guys were doing and wanted to be a part of it, but, at the time didn't realize it was for 18 or older.
Yeah. And so going in from that to really, what was it like just, getting in that for, because you were in the program last year. What was it like, getting that in that year in 2022? And that was part of a pretty big year for you. I'll get that leads into my next question. What was it just like being a part of the program last year?
It was really cool. And honestly, I didn't expect to make it in. I really didn't. But I sure am glad that I did. I've learned so much over the course of the past couple of years. Things off the racetrack. The program has really pushed me outside my comfort zone, make me a better person. Because I'm not a very social person. I stick to myself. I don't post on social media. That's just not who I am. But they really opened my eyes to the importance of it. I really appreciate that experience and them pushing me outside my comfort zone.
How did you like get over shyness?
Well, I still am shy.
Oh,
Um, I just, I guess more so I just stopped caring what people think, right? I realized, I just gotta be myself, and it doesn't really matter what other people think.
yeah. Okay, so I know 2022 was also a big year for you, but because of what you did that year, of course, if I'm not mistaken, you were a track champion at Berlin in last year, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, yep. No, we won the championship, and also like the NASCAR state championship.
Yep. So for the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series. So what was it like to win those championships at a track so well, and to see racing against some of the people that you watched the track, and also you get to race, and I know you've also raced people that are currently competing in the top three levels of NASCAR.
Yeah, it was very cool. There's a very, very small amount of people that get to win a championship at a racetrack at the racetrack's top division. So to be part of that group is very special, especially with some of the stars that have come from Berlin Raceway. Back in the day and stuff. It's very cool to just see your name up there with all those very important people.
Yeah. Um, so let me ask you this. When did you decide to start your own business?
It was COVID year. I was working for a chassis manufacturer, and we had to take a couple weeks where nobody was allowed to go to work or anything, and that went into a couple months or whatever, and I just started working on race cars as kind of a side gig, for something to do, help pay for my racing, and it kind of just blew up, to be honest with you. We work on a lot of race cars. We sell a lot of parts and stuff now. It's really one of the best decisions I've ever made. I mean, I get to go to work every day and work on race cars. Pretty awesome gig.
Yeah. So I know that Shotko Motorsports. I know you get to work obviously your own cars, but you were also work on other people's cars as well.
Yeah, we work on a lot of other people's cars, doing setups. I build shocks. I even keep people's cars here and run their programs for them. We do a lot of stuff. Like I said, I absolutely love it. Things have really taken off well, and I'm really excited for the direction it's heading.
Yeah, I was out there. I know a couple of your cars were at the races this weekend in Berlin and all that stuff, and yeah, you've really kind of turned that into pretty successful things. So let me ask you this year, I know that you were able to I know you applied for the program again. What made you decide to have another go at it for year two?
Well, we had such an awesome year last year. I was just looking forward to, competing for the prize again. But also, I know how much I learned last year being a part of the program. So, just hoping I can continue learning. And I'm a competitive person. I like to win. So it's just one more thing to compete in.
Yeah. So, so your schedule this year, I know you have, one win this year at, you won the Icebreaker Berlin, and I know you haven't been able to get a chance to race as often as you want to, but overall, how do you think your year is going so far?
Um, not nearly as good as last year. But we're working some bugs out. We've had a couple issues. But it's part of racing. It is what it is. We're not quite racing as much as I'd like to see this year. But I'm trying to grow my business to help pay for my racing, so my parents don't have to do that anymore. That's very, very important to me. They've sunk a lot of money into my racing over the past few years, and I'm really trying my best to take that financial burden off of them. So with that, you have to give and take a little bit, I guess. So I haven't been racing as much as we'd like, but I know we have a pretty busy second half of the year.
Yeah. Okay, so I know we were talking at Berlin about your schedule and stuff. When is your next race?
2 weeks at Berlin. I think we have like, I don't know, 3 races right in a row or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't have the calendar in front of me.
All right, no problem. And then just what are the goals for this season? I know that you're not going for the track championship like you did last year, but I know you're going to be more out there and trying to do more stuff as much as you can, but and also trying to grow Shotko Motorsports as well.
Yeah, well, our goal is always to win every single race we're in.
Mhm.
So we're going to go to the racetrack every single time with the goal to win. And hopefully we can do that.
All right. Well, Evan, thanks so much for talking with us, and best of luck of when you're out there next.
Thank you. I appreciate it.